Hello there guys, and welcome back to once again another live stream here on the Divine Eye Racing YouTube channel. Today we're going to be racing in the Division 2. It is Season 2, Round 9, around the Spanish Grand Prix, or also well known as the Barcelona de Catalunya. Wait, hold up. Barcelona de Catalunya, whatever the track is called, I have no idea. I'm not 100% sure. I could find that somewhere, but a bit lazy. So let's not do that today. We're going to be focusing on the qualifying, as it is going to be a short qualifying and a 50% race afterwards. First driver out on track is a Haas driver that might be Redoubts, and no, it is not Redoubts. It is Brass Monkeys all the way P13. So we're going to go on board with our dear Haas friend, and hopefully he's going to be able to put something great on the board. Brass Monkeys, who is going up and down with his teammate for P10 in the Drivers' Championship. Both the Haas drivers have done a great job trying to get in the top 5 of the Constructors, but they haven't managed to do so yet. As you can see right above me, we have got Williams in the lead for the Constructors, and we've got Ferrari, AlphaTauri, Mercedes, and all the way at the bottom of the top 5, we have got McLaren, led by Kev the Slice, of course. Williams have a great team. With the addition of the Bartofor, who managed to find himself in the top 10 of the Drivers' Championship recently. So that is great for the Williams driver. Then, of course, we have got the Ferrari team led by Bobo, our Drivers' Champion. At the moment, well, provisional Drivers' Champion, because we don't know at the end of the season who is going to win the Drivers' Championship. There's about 20 points difference between Bobo and Kev the Slice, who is currently in P2. So both drivers basically don't have the teammate they were hoping for. You can see that in the Drivers' Championship, both drivers don't have their teammates in the top 10, so that is obviously not great compared to AlphaTauri, who have both drivers in the top 10, or Williams, who have also both drivers in the top 10. El Shakel was a surprising P3. He's doing great. Then, of course, we've got Jay Dennis leading the Mercedes team to hopefully victory, as he's got his teammate Olawa Ritchie in the top 10 of the Drivers' Championship too. So both the Mercedes drivers quite close to each other, and we might be seeing some battles on track today between the both of them. We saw that happening in Zandvoort last week, and hopefully we are not going to be seeing that happening too much today, because of course both teammates want to work together to get close to the pack ahead. We're currently on board with Brass Monkeys. He's going to go into an in-lap, because this is going to be his fast lap, and the fastest time so far is 1:14.0 set by Brass Monkeys. Yo, Tusky, how are you doing, mate? How are we doing? Jay Dennis and Gaze Hamid coming into the pit, coming across the line with 112.3. Not bad at all. We're currently on board with Bobo, and his teammate is nowhere to be found. No, he is. Is she currently in P6? Still in the pit lane though, so you might want to come out of the pits pretty soon to put in that fast lap. That first fast lap of the session for the Ferrari driver. And now we are on board with Bobo. Spain, a very interesting track. Not a lot of overtaking opportunities, but that is what makes the racing around Spain very, very beautiful, because there's not many overtaking opportunities. It's basically train, driving, all that kind of stuff. You've got the DRS down the straight, that's about it. Into turn 1, you've got a good overtaking opportunity, but you also have to watch out for the risks that come along with it. Here comes Bobo around the last corner. Takes a lot of curb on the exit there. As you can see, beautifully done by Bobo as he comes across the line with a 111.4 so far. That is the fastest lap already here in the qualifying. Olawa Ritchie might be able to do something about that all the way in P16. Heading into Sector 2 at the moment. We've got that fast right-hander down the straight. DRS straight. Not a good DRS straight, as you don't really kind of use that DRS. You're not really able to make a move into turn 10. Possibly, I'm not sure. You really need a good exit coming out of turn 9 to be able to do that. And here he comes into turn 13, and then of course turn 14, the last corner here around Barcelona de Catalunya. And that will be a P3, putting himself in front of his own teammate with a 112.1. 2/10 faster than Jay Dennis. So as I said, both the drivers are very similar to each other pace-wise, and that is also going to show in the race. Ramon Tabasco, currently in P15, he has added himself to the Alpine team for today. I think Ramon is a reserve driver, but I could be wrong. Takes a lot of curb on the exit there. wants to abuse those track limits as much as possible. Takes a very tight line coming into turn 5. And we've got turn 4, that is, my apologies. Into turn 5, into turn 6, fast left-hander. And it's a very difficult fast left-hander here. Because you don't want to take too much curb down the inside, and you don't want to take too much curb on the exit either, because that is going to give you some troubles. As it seems like someone was parking on the line there. That was his own teammate, Waza, currently with 114.3. But Ramon might be hoping for a better time. The McLaren driver going off track there, trying to leave enough space for Ramon around the outside. And here comes Ramon entering sector 3. What time will the Alpine driver be doing? Heading into turn 13. Takes too much curb. Might be coming back into the pits. And yes, indeed he does. Thiago is Kev the Slice teammate for today. Might be hoping he was going to get a little bit of a tow from his own teammate, but it seems like Kev the Slice parked his car down the inside there, and now Kev the Slice might be hoping for a little bit of a tow from his own teammate. As they're coming down the straight, I think Thiago needs to push a little bit more to give that tow down the second straight, down the second DRS straight, of course. You might want to go on board with Kev the Slice. Is he still on that old set of soft tires? That could be the case. I don't think his teammate is going to give him a tow, if I'm being honest. Although it might be... I'm not sure. Kev the Slice with a 111.8 at the moment. He's 4/10 slower than Bobo. And that is also already quite a bit. 4/10. He might be improving here. He might have not had the perfect qualifying round last time around. Oh, and he spins, but he recovers. Beautifully done by Kev the Slice. Lost the car, but put himself back on track. Beautiful control over his car, as Kev the Slice is possibly going to come back into the pits. His tires might have been gone already. Nico John, a very good racer. That is not what I was about to say. I was going to say a good racer. No, I was going to say a fast racer in the race. But in the qualifying, he lacks a little bit of pace. We've seen that over the last couple of weeks, where he didn't really manage to get into the top 5 or anywhere near the top 5. But then when we look at the race, he always manages to get into the top 5 of the results of the end of the race. So it's quite an interesting thing happening with Nico John there, as he's now coming down the straight, heading into turn 10, hard braking zone into the left-hander. And then, of course, we're going fast on the throttle into turn 12, right-hander. We've got turn 13 and 14 up ahead. Nico John possibly looking at the top 10 position once again. But he really needs to get within that top 5 to be able to compete with the top guys this time around. Puts himself right behind his teammate, 5/10 slower than Ange Hamid. But we might see that difference, not come into play during the race, because Nico John usually is a more consistent driver, better with the tires, better with the pace in the race than his own teammates. So that is where both drivers difference. Ange Hamid faster in the qualifying, and Nico John faster in the race. You might want to go on board with Waza here, currently in P12 on a fast lap, a 113.5 for the Alpine driver. Doesn't have too much ERS left in the tank. Does take a lot of curb down the inside, wants to take a tight line coming out of that corner, but he doesn't. Into turn 12 he goes, very tight line early on the throttle, and he does indeed, but doesn't catch too much curb on the exit. Oh, catches too much curb down the entry, and he comes back into the pits. Oh, has to watch out, Oh, what is he doing? Oh, he's driving back. Okay, he wants to get back into the pits, but he can't. Goes onto the gravel, and there's a Red Bull coming, and now he's gonna go back on track. Waza doing very interesting things, trying to get back into the pits. Very innovative by the Alpine driver, but I mean, I'm not... Dutski, is this alive? Is it alive, mate? I have no idea. Blue Dark was the Red Bull driver getting past Waza. He has put a 114.6. Last week we saw a bit of controversy between the drivers at the front and Blue Dark, and there was also a little bit of a discussion in the chat about that. So to be clear to all drivers, if there is a blue flag, you need to go to the side and let all the fast drivers go by. That is something that Blue Dark didn't manage to do last week, but according to him, the rules were not clear about that. So now all things have been cleared, and Blue Dark is hopefully not gonna... I'm not gonna say ruin, because he didn't really ruin anyone, but he's hopefully not gonna bother anyone anymore on track. no, Tsuki, you can just play back. Oh, you meant like that. Okay. I thought you really didn't see it, but you said, oh my god, I did not see that, as in, I don't want to see it, right? AP might need an invite back. I'm not 100% sure. Redice is in the pit, and also Brassmook is in the pit, so both of them can send an invite to him. Blue Dart just came across the line again. He's not saved enough ERS to go out for another lap, so we might want to go on board with Starry, who's currently entering turn 10. Takes too much curb on the exit there. That was almost an invalidation by the Alfa Romeo driver. Doesn't push too much. He doesn't have much ERS in the tank either, so I think he's going to come back into the pits. He's not pushing at all. He's a little bit lagging all over the place, as that might need to be looked into. As of course, it's not ideal for racing drivers to race against Starry if he's lagging all over the place. And then of course it would be easy for you to get a top 10 position, because nobody behind you wants to make the overtake. Nico John, who just broke a braking board, but I think that was to avoid colliding with the Alfa Romeo driver up ahead. That was, of course, a Cable Monkey on an outlap. AP joined back again. That is great news. As we've got El Shakel managing to get into the top 5. Ziad, who got a possible, well, who lost a possible race win last week due to a pit entry lag glitch. I'm not sure. He lost about 12 seconds coming into the pits, and that kind of gave Bobo the race win. I don't think Ziad was actually had anything to do with it. I think it was El Shakel and the others, not Kevin Slice, Jay Dennis, Olawu Richie, all those guys. But Ziad, he was only 1.9 seconds away from Bobo, so he could have stolen the race win from the Ferrari driver. He was actually the only one able to do so, as the other guys were, well, involved in a lobby glitch. But Ziad, I mean, he's got the pace, he's got the qualifying pace, he's only 200s away from Bobo here in this qualifying session. Doesn't seem to be having too much fuel left, if I'm being honest. A lot of guys here at the top are currently still in the pits. Nico John is going to go off track a little bit. Not sure what he's doing that for. Possibly coming back into the pits. This is going to take a lot of curbs there. Sliding all over the place and coming back into the pits indeed. His own teammate beat him by more than 5/10 here in this qualifying session. Ange Hammond currently in P4. Captain Slice is going to have some troubles keeping up with Ziad and Bobo at the moment, because he's 4/10 away from the top 2. That is definitely something he's going to be struggling with. Well, especially with Ange Hammond and El Shakel right in his neck. And Tiago currently in P12. He might want to improve a little bit more. Let's get the lap data on to see if he's improving on his own lap. And he's got a little bit of a tow from the Alfa Romeo. Up ahead is the McLaren driver up on his time. And no, he's not 4 seconds slower than his previous lap, so he won't be able to put a good lap on the board. He also invalidates, but he saved a lot of ERS, so that might mean he's going to go out for another one. Still 4 more minutes on the timetable, so I would say if he has another fresh set of softs, coming to the pits, put another set of softs on the car, but he decides not to. Tiago lifting a little bit coming around the last corner. That is usually not something you want to do as a racing driver, because you can take that last corner full throttle if you have enough downforce. But that is definitely something you want here in Spain. A lot of downforce. Tiago now coming into turn 1, 2, and 3. A beautiful corner section here around Barcelona de Catalunya. Heading into turn 4, hard braking zone. A long right-hander. As you might be looking at a move down the inside there. Into turn 5 he goes. Takes a little bit of curb on the exit. Into turn 5 he goes. Takes a lot of curb down the entry. Beautifully done. Takes a lot of curb on the exit. Yes, indeed he does. Tiago, beautifully done by the McLaren driver. Is he up in his time entering sector 2? Possibly. I didn't really look at the sector 2 time, well, the sector 1 time, but he might be up on his sector here in sector 2. As he's heading into sector 3 at the moment. Is he up in his time? He is up in his time by quite a bit already. 6/10. Takes a lot of curb on the exit. It's not really a curb on the exit, but there is a lot of runaway room which you can use. So that is something that Tiago does use. Up by 6/10 on his lap, as that will possibly put him in front of Cable Monkey in the top 9. From around the last corner, he goes full throttle. Beautifully done by Tiago, and it'll be a 1:12.9 to put himself in P10. Lost a little bit of time heading into that last sector, but no real damage has been done by Thiago Motta. He's put himself in P10. Not a bad result at all. All the guys at the front of the pack are going to be starting to come out. The Ferrari driver just has come out. That is Ishii, of course. And also Kev the Slice and Ange Hammond find themselves on the grid, on the track at the moment. Kev the Slice has left the session actually, so I'm not sure what that is for. He's still in the pit lane. He needs to get an invite pretty soon, because otherwise he won't be able to qualify anymore. There's still 2 more minutes on the table. I mean, on the board left in this qualifying session, so they really need to come out of the track, or well, out of the pits right now, because otherwise they will be struggling to come around 1 lap of Spain. Okay, Hamid is going to start this lap. He might be up for a top 3 position here. I don't think he's got the qualifying pace that is needed to get into the top 2. Both Bobo and Ziad put a tremendous amount of pace and you know, effort into that lap. 111.4 is going to be hard to beat by any of these guys. Maybe Ange Hamid is going to be able to, but he needs to improve by 6/10 on his own lap to be able to do that. Heading into Sector 2, he's not up in his time, 14,000 slower. But that doesn't mean he's going to be slower in Sector 2 and Sector 3. Let's have a quick look. Basically, didn't lose any time in Sector 1, only 14,000, which is basically nothing. Heading into Sector 2, he's got a little bit of traffic up ahead. That is an Alpine driver who's... No, it's an Aston Martin car on the... well, racing line, but he got away just in time. He's going to grab a little bit of tow from his own teammate, if I'm not mistaken. Nico John didn't really drive till the end of that straight to give Ange Hamid a little bit of more of a tow. I would say usually as a teammate you would do that, but I understand that he didn't want to take any risks. And here comes Ange Hamid around the last corner. Was he up in his time entering Sector 3? That is a good question. Ange Hamid coming across the line to put a 112.2, doesn't improve on his time, and he's got no ERS saved. So that means he's not going to be able to put another lap on the board. Rameau putting himself with a surprising P4. Al Shakel also up in his time. No, he's not. 600 slower than his previous time. But heading into Sector 3, he might be up in his time heading into Sector 3. Because basically, Sector 2 is a very technical one. Also Sector 3, but I feel like you can really gain a lot of time through Sector 2. He's not up in his time heading into Sector 3. He's 8,800 slower. My apologies. But let's see if he can improve maybe 110. A couple of hundreds would even be great, because then he will be putting himself in front of Ange Hamid, and he does indeed do improve by 2,000, but it won't be enough to put himself in front of Ange Hamid. He comes 6,000 short to be able to put himself in the top 5. Ziad and Bobo are both on a lap, and Ziad is improving by quite a bit. 1.5 tenths, 1.5 tenths at the moment. The Aston Martin driver might be able to take his first pole position here in Divine Eye Racing. I'm not 100% sure if he had a pole position last week in Zandvoort, but if he did, congratulations. If he didn't, congratulations. Oh, he's coming back into the pits. He's not going to be improving. What is Bobo doing? He was improving by quite a bit, but he backs out of it, doesn't have a front wing anymore, and that will not be an improvement from any of the top 3 guys, as Kev the Slice did not come out on track. Jay Dennis just put himself in front of his teammate, if I'm not mistaken. Nico John coming back into the pits. Cable Monkey up in his time, and 900s as he comes across the line to put himself in P12, a 112.7. Not a great lap from the Alfa Romeo driver, as he is right behind his teammate. So once again, we are seeing some groups forming. The Williams team close to each other, the Mercedes team close to each other, the Haas team close to each other, the Alfa Romeo team close to each other. We've got the Red Bulls pretty close to each other, and then we've got Alpine, who are quite of a long distance from each other. Also the Ferrari guys, also the Aston Martin guys, and also the McLaren guys. So a lot of these guys are pretty, equal teams. I feel like they did a great job putting the, because you see that the guys who are quite similar pace of teammates, they're quite in the middle of the pack, and then the guys who are a little bit faster, they're getting paired with a teammate who is a little bit slower, so that the constructors keeps it interesting. And as you might be able to see here up ahead, the points between P1 and P5 are just minimal. We are looking at 5 points difference, 10 points difference in a constructors championship. That is something that can be changed in one race. If one McLaren crashes out, he's going to be dropped back to a couple of positions. Oh shit. Oh, hold up. I need to share the stream, of course. Dutski, maybe you need to do it so that the live stream posts out of himself, because right now, I mean, it doesn't always post by himself. I'm gonna share it real quick. Or did you do it already? Ah, you did it already. Oh, Tusky, you're a legend. Thank you very much, mate. Thank you very much. Here we go. Okay, we have got a Bobo in P1, a Ziad in P2, and Kev the Slice in P3. Further, we've got Ramo, Ange Hamid, El Shakel, the Bartofor, Jay Dennis, Olawa Richie, Nico John, Starry, Cable Monkey, Expedito, Tiago, Ishi, Waza, Blue Dark, Brass Monkeys, Redoubts, and all the way at the back, we have got AP. I'm just gonna have a quick look with the live stream whether the microphone quality is alright. Because last night I had a little bit of pops and bangs, which is obviously not ideal. As I'm just gonna have a quick listen. Yeah, so the quality of the microphone is quite alright. It's not great, it's not bad either. I'm gonna try and do some stuff there. But I mean, first we have got to focus on this race. Of course, 1 decibels might do the trick, as then my lower notes are a little bit better. And I've got quite of a deep voice, so I mean, it's not insanely deep, it's like alright deep, you know. So we're waiting. Thank you for the hearts, by the way, guys. Really appreciate it. I really do appreciate that. And hopefully I'm entertaining you guys, you know. Hopefully you guys are entertained. Hopefully you're enjoying yourselves with a little bit of popcorn, with a little bit of water. For the guys who are currently on the race, who are going to be racing pretty soon, good luck to you, as I hope you're going to be winning this race. I'm not saying any names, but I got my favorites. Let me give you my top 3 real quick. So I'm going to go with Bobo in P1. I'm going to go with Ziad in P2. And I think Kev the Slice, he's a little bit rusty, so he might not be able to put himself anywhere near the top 3. So I'm going with Nico John in P3. I feel like he's going to be able to do something great today. And hopefully my top 3 will come through. Last week I was pretty close. But yeah, we'll see if that is going to be happening today. Usually I'm not very close with my prediction. But, I mean, let's hope for it. I'm just going to listen one more time. Alright, so here we are. We are currently in our formation lap. I'm just going to disable my phone. Here we go. Formation lap has been, well, started, however you want to call it. We've got a couple of interesting strategies here. A couple of guys starting on the softs, all the way at the back of the grid. We've got P13 all the way to P20, except for P17 starting on the softs. The only driver in the top 12 to start on the softs is Ramon in P4. For the rest of the strategies, we have got Bobo, Kev the Slice, Ange Hamid, El Shakel, Jay Dennis, and Nico John, Cable Monkey, and Blue Dark on the mediums. And the rest of the grid is starting on the hard tires. We've got a very mixed up grid. So I think Ziad might be losing a couple of positions at the beginning of the race, because he's going to be having a very bad start starting on those hard tires. And because there is a lot of room, well, a lot of space between the start finish and turn 1, we might be seeing him losing more than 3 positions, especially with 3 medium tire runners and a soft tire runner right behind him. We might be seeing Ramon take the lead of the race already. If he drains all of his ERS down the straight, he will have a good start of the race, and he might be able to throw it down the inside in turn 1. We never know what is going to happen during the start of the race, but let's hope it is going to be clean. We are also going to be possibly seeing the soft tires at the back of the grid and gain a lot of positions on Cable Monkey, Starry, Nico John. I think Cable Monkey, what he has to do at the moment is just keep the guys behind him for as long as possible and let Starry run away. Or Cable Monkey making the overtake on Starry and starting keeping him up for as long as possible. But I mean, if both drivers are going to be battling with each other, they're even going to lose more positions to the soft tire runner. So that is not suggested. Of course, I'm just going to blow my nose before the race is going to start, because otherwise I'm going to start sign very nasally, and that is not something we want, of course. All right, here we are, guys. We've got a race of 50% race around Spain, Barcelona de Catalunya, here in Divine Eye Racing. We are currently in season 2, round 9 of the Spain Grand Prix. It is going to be 5 red lights with Bobo starting at pole position. Here he goes, and a beautiful start there from Bobo, already heading into turn 1. He's got the Aston Martin right on his tail. Kev the Slice seems to be trying to make a move around the outside. Here comes Kev the Slice. He's not going to be able to make the overtake, but possibly making a switchback on Ziad. Ramon still in P4. He's not able to make a position up in that first corner section, but he might be looking at a move down the inside. Kev the Slice down the inside he goes. Beautiful overtake by Kev the Slice. He is on those medium tires, and Ramon is going to benefit from using those soft tires. Around the outside he goes. He's making the overtake on Ziad. Ziad losing 2 positions during that first couple of corners. And now it seems like Kev the Slice is taking a P2. Bobo is running away at the moment, already an 8-10 gap. And there is a yellow flag at the back of the grid. It seems like that was an Alpine driver and a Aston Martin. Those are Waza and Expedito. Let's have a quick look with Ishii, as he's the first one getting past that Alfa Romeo blockage. As it seems like the Alfa Romeo guys are having a trouble, although they're forming some kind of blockage. Here comes Thiago around the outside of Starry. Beautiful overtake. He goes off track though. Starry might be able to make the overtake again around the outside. And yes, indeed he does. But Thiago has too much traction coming off that line, and he makes the overtake. Starry might get overtaken by Blue Dog down the inside. Yes, indeed he does. The Red Bull and the Alfa Romeo are having contact. Blue Dog drops back behind the AlphaTauri. Angie Hamid also dropped back to P14. That is not something we would have expected from the Italian driver. Down the inside he goes. Here he comes down the straight. Down the inside of Starry on the medium tires. He might be able to make the overtake already. And yes, indeed he does. Takes a lot of curb down the inside, and off he goes. Angie Hamid is on a comeback race. Let's go back to the front of the pack as Kev the Slice is right on the tail of Ramon. Ramon tried to make the overtake, and he's going to defend the inside line from Kev the Slice at the moment. Kev the Slice with a possible switchback. And yes, he does. Look at that move from Kev the Slice. He's now having the inside line coming through turn 6. And he's not going to be able to keep that position. Ramon takes B2, and they're losing a tremendous amount of time to Bobo at the moment. Already 1.7 seconds. Ziad in P4 on the tail of Kev the Slice. And it seems like there's a big pack forming. Here are the Williams team again with Bartofor getting overtaken by Al Shkel. He's now going to have to keep that Mercedes behind him, but he's not going to be able to. Danny, oh, and they're going 3 wide in turn 12. 4 wide. This is something we've never seen before in turn 12 around Spain. 4 drivers going wide. Those were Al Shkel, Jay Dennis, and Bartofor, and of course Ziad, or I think that was Olawa Richie possibly. Here comes the Bartofor. It's a 3-way battle. Ziad trying to make the overtake on Jay Dennis. Down the inside he goes of the Bartofor. Here he goes, making a deep lunge, and he makes the overtake. Jay Dennis trying to find his way around the Williams driver. Here he comes, still having the inside line in turn 3. Here he goes. Oh, and there's not much room given by the Bartofor. Olawa Richie might be possibly making the overtake down the inside. No, he's not. Jay Dennis gets past the Williams driver. Beautiful overtake by Jay Dennis. The Bartofor, will he be making a switchback where it doesn't look like it? Here comes Olawa Richie right on the tail of the Bartofor. Both drivers running hard tires, so it's equal against equal. Will the Bartofor be making that overtake? Doesn't look like it. Oh, I'm out of breath. I'm out of breath, guys, and my voice is gone too. Oh my days. At the back of the pack, we're also seeing a very feisty battle between both the Haas drivers. Here comes Redoubts on the tail of Brass Monkeys, but that will possibly not be an overtake. Kev the Slice still sticking to the toe of Ramon Tabasco, and Al Shkel seems to be having troubles to keep the toe off the McLaren driver at this point during the race. He is on the medium tire, so he should be able to... Oh, and Ziad coming into the pits. Does he have a broken front wing? Possibly. He's on the hard tires. And that is not going to be great for the Aston Martin's race. Oh, and he retires from the session. What has happened to Ziad? It's great that he doesn't crash into the wall, though. Angie Hamid seems to be making the overtake on Thiago Motta. Might want to go back to the front of the pack. Jay Dennis leading this little pack to victory, hopefully. Back to El Shakel, as it is going to be another Williams-Mercedes battle. And how many of those have we seen already over the last couple of weeks? Mercedes currently in P4 in the Constructors. And then, of course, we've got Williams leading the Constructors Championship. The Bartol with a little bit of a snap. Will allow Richie go down the inside? No, he will not. He will decide to back out of it and just keep on racing, keep on sticking it behind Bartofor, and Nico John is slightly catching up to the guys ahead. Nico John, who obviously did not have a great qualifying, unfortunately. Neither did, well, Ange Hamid actually had a great race start. Well, a great qualifying, but not a great race start. He dropped 6 positions already. He qualified in P5, dropped back to the mid, well, to the middle of the back of the pack. And now he finds himself back in the middle of the pack in P11. As it seems like all the way at the back of the grid, we are looking at some position changes between Expedito and Brass Monkeys. It seems like they have crashed out each other. Ramon has caught up to Bobo. What a great race from Ramon already. Gained 2 positions during those first couple of laps and now catches up to Bobo. He's right on the tail of the Ferrari. Oh, and he spins. Oh, possibly has a broken front wing. Comes back on track. Almost touches Kev the Slice, but he lost the car there. And that is something you don't want to see on a soft tire runner. The tires are probably overheating, unless we're looking at Ramon. Now we're also having to look at the Mercedes driver and the Williams driver. Down the inside he goes. Oh, Richie going off track. Almost takes out the Alfa Romeo. Thought he was going to crash into him, but luckily he was ghosting. Olawa Richie drops back to P11, possibly P12. Thiago Motta is going to keep it behind the Mercedes driver, which is lovely to see. Yes, mate, calm Skurs. I don't know what happened. Ramon, here he goes. Calm Skurs. Oh, Jesus. Nico John managed to get 4 positions on the board. And that is what I said. You know, you've got Ange Hamid, a qualifying mastermind. Oh, and also a 3-second time penalty for Ramon Tabasco. Not great. And this race couldn't get any worse for the Alpine driver. Comes into the pit, so he's gonna drop back all the way to the back of the pit, as I said, you know. We're looking at the move from Ange Hamid down the inside of Ishii. Here he comes, but he's gonna back out of it. Interestingly enough, he's not gonna be making a move up the inside. But as I said, Ange Hamid, a qualifying mastermind. You have got Nico John, a race-based merchant. He's just amazing how many positions he gets week in, week out. He qualifies out of the top 5, out of the top 10 sometimes, and he manages to get into the top 5 every race. It's just insane how consistent he is at the moment. Issue with a little bit of a step. Here comes Ange Hamid. Will he be going down the inside? I wouldn't suggest it, and he backs out of it indeed. A very risky corner. You definitely don't want to make a move into that corner section, but now he will have the DRS down the straight. Does Ishii have the DRS? It doesn't look like it. Up the inside, right the outside he goes actually. Here comes Ange Hamid. 4 positions lost. No, 3 positions lost, he says. Around the outside he goes into turn 10. Ishii is not giving up, but it has a little bit of a snap, and there goes Ange Hamid up into P8. 3 more positions to go to gain that P5 again, but he needs to get past his teammate as soon as possible to be able to do that. Jay Dennis with the use of DRS. Here he comes down the inside. No, he's not going to go down the inside because he's not alongside the Williams driver. Oh, almost goes into the back of the Williams driver. Oh, that was really, really close there between Jay Dennis and El Shakel. And all props to El Shakel. I mean, he is doing a consistent race. He hasn't really fought with anyone yet, but we might be seeing that here between Jay Dennis and El Shakel. And as we're looking at these two, we also have to look at the lead of the race, because Bobo is slightly losing a bit of time to Kev the Slice. As you can see, 1.3 seconds. It's not amazingly a lot, you know. You've got Kev the Slice being 1.8 seconds, 1.9 seconds. Well, he dropped back to 1.7 seconds. So I feel like the Bobo really has a lot of pace through Sector 2. There we go, Kev the Slice down the straight again. I feel like Kev the Slice has a lot of, not a lot of downforce, and that makes him a little bit faster down the straight. And Bobo might have more downforce to be faster down the straights, but you never know. You never know what these guys are running as a setup. Here comes Jay Dennis. Will have the DRS. I don't think El Shakel has the DRS. Almost loses the car on the curb. Really has to watch out there, because these medium tires are not going to give up yet. It's a medium soft or a soft medium strategy. Some guys are choosing for a soft hard. As you can see, a lot of guys starting on the hards actually. Well, 5 people. It's not always great. Here comes Jay Dennis down the inside. El Shakel not making up a position again. on the Mercedes driver. He's just going to back out of it. And now, oh, he's going down the inside. Here comes El Shakel having the inside line. Now into turn 4 he goes. Has the inside line. Is not giving up. Side by side they go into turn 4. Oh, and Jay Dennis going a little bit wide. I don't think he got pushed wide, if I'm being honest. I think he just took a wide line into turn 4. And, well, El Shakel back to P3. Great race from these two. And at the back of the pack, we are looking at another couple of battles between Ramo and Ishii. Let's go on board with those guys. Ramo down the inside. He's got those fresh medium tires, of course, and he's going to give up a position. I'm talking about Ishii here. Although he's battling for it, though. But I think, you know, Ramo battling with the top of the field. He's got those fresh tires. I don't think Ishii got... Oh, Ishii down the inside. He's not giving up. Almost takes out the Alpine driver. And Brass Monkeys goes a little bit too deep. Loses 2 positions doing that. Let's go back to the front of the back as Jay Dennis is right on the tail of El Shakel. Down the straight they go. Here comes Jay Dennis. 210s behind the Williams driver. DRS wide open. DRS has been enabled. El Shakel doesn't have any ERS left. Oh, Jay Dennis has plenty of left in the tank. Here he comes down the inside. Will El Shakel make another switchback possible? Doesn't look like it. Has a little bit of a snap coming into turn 2. And there goes Jay Dennis. Has to drain all of the ERS he's got right now to make some kind of gap on El Shakel. Because El Shakel doesn't have any ERS left in the tank. And Hamid seems to be on the tail of Olawarichi. 610s behind the Mercedes driver. And of course, these are some very interesting battles between the both of them, because both of them are battling for that top 3 in the Constructors' Championship. You've got AlphaTauri in P3, you've got Mercedes in P4, and of course seeing Jay Dennis in P3 and Olawarichi in P8, the AlphaTauri team might be a little bit scared because the point difference is basically nothing. It's basically nothing. It's insane how close these guys are in the Constructors' Championship. Thiago on the tail of Blue Dark, and a surprising result from Blue Dark at the moment. I mean, 6 positions gained throughout the whole race is insane. We have not seen something happen from Blue Dark yet. Last week he was, you know, he wasn't there. He simply wasn't there. Blue flags all the way, and now he's, well, he's I'm not gonna say he's losing a lot of time, but he's sticking to the toe around that 6-7 mark, second mark of Starry, which is not bad at all. Almost goes off track there, and now has the inside line, is possibly going to get overtaken by Thiago. Here they come, down the straight he goes. Thiago down the straight. He's going to use the DRS, but look at how much straight line speed Blue Dark has. Even without DRS, he's just gaining on Thiago, and that means he's got no downforce, just straight line speed. That's all that Blue Dark matters here in Spain. We might want to get back to Ange Hamid and Olawarichi, currently in P8 and P9, heading into Sector 2. Oh, and there goes the Alfa Romeo Cable Monkey off track as he goes onto the grass and he spins. Oh, Cable Monkey, how to fuck up a race. Oh, and he drops back to P10. No real damage has been done, but this is a great indication that the tires are definitely overheating. So a medium hard strategy might be the way to go for Cable Monkeys. And what we haven't seen yet is a safety car. A safety car is really, really important for the medium tire runners at this point. Also the soft tire runners. Here comes El Shakel around the outside of Jay Dennis. So we might want to have a quick look with the tires. Tire-wise, the soft tire runners are still all the way at the back of the grid. We didn't see any, well, soft tire runners at the front of the pack. Only Ramon Tabasco, but he managed to get onto the medium tires already after a spin. And he's back up in P12. P11 possibly, as Cable Monkeys is coming into the pits. Cable Monkeys does indeed go into the hard tires. He has listened to my explanation. You know, here's the thing. Being on the medium tires, if your tires are overheating, you're just going to struggle even more. And you don't want that to happen, of course. So coming into the pits must have been the wisest decision, because now you're able to go onto 22 lap old hards, hoping there's not going to be a single safety car, and you're still going to be able to get into the top 10 possibly if the other guys make a little bit of a mistake. But of course, I mean, you can keep on driving on overheated mediums, because you're just going to lose too much time. You're gonna spin, you're gonna crash into the wall, and that is a risk you don't want to take as a racing driver. Here comes Jay Dennis down the inside with the use of DRS. He's gonna back out of it again. has still a lot of ERS saved, and he doesn't seem to be taking a gap on Al Shakel. Up the inside he goes, as both the drivers go side by side. Al Shakel never giving up, coming through that corner section. Jay Dennis taking the curb up the inside, and now Al Shakel is not going to give up. Still takes the inside line there, but backs out of the move as he's now going around the outside. Has to brake really, really late to be able to make a move around the outside. The switchback from El Shakel is possibly going to work. Heading into this corner section, around the outside he goes. Doesn't have too much space. Making the switchback work. Will it be working for El Shakel? No, it won't be working. Cable Monkey now with a 3-second time penalty as he drops back to P16. 1.3 seconds behind Brass Monkeys. And these softs still seem to be quite fresh. El Shakel taking a lot of curb. His tires are worn out. I can see that on the way he's driving. And even his teammate is catching up at the moment. 2.7 seconds from the Bardova to El Shakel. So, El Shakel, how many more laps should he go on these medium tires? Possibly, you know, if he's struggling already, if he doesn't want to risk crashing out, if he doesn't want to risk, spinning, you really gotta come into the pits around lap 15 to go into those hard tires, and you'll have a great strategy if you ask me. But if you really want to be on the soft tires at the end of the race, you really have to stretch until lap 20. Down the inside he goes. Jay Dennis not giving up. And the more at some point these two are going to be making a mistake, if you ask me. I mean, you can't always go through turn 1, 2, and 3 as clean as these guys are doing at the moment. We've seen some insane battles between these two. Al Shakel up the inside again. Jay Dennis having the outside line is going to let Al Shakel run away. Although he's still up the inside, brakes a little bit later. Oh, almost touches the Williams driver, but no contact has been made between the both of them. And once again, another beautiful corner section between the both of them. And I think this is the racing we love to see here in Divine Eye Racing. We've not seen any better racing over the last couple of weeks than these two. Maybe Divine Eye and Mihu last night. But these two have been battling with each other lap in, lap out since the beginning of the race. 13 laps in total, and this is just amazing to see how close these two are battling with each other. Blue Dark still on the tail of Ishii. He dropped back to P12, so no more top 10 position for the Red Bull driver. It seems like Ange Hamid made the overtake on Oliver Ritchie, which we kind of missed. But Oliver Ritchie's hard tires will be faster at the end of the race. Ange Hamid with a little bit of a snap going onto the curb at the end of turn 13. Al Shakel with another overtake. Here comes Oliver Ritchie. Up the inside he goes. He's not going to give up on those hard tires because they will be faster at the end of the stint. And Ange Hamid will possibly be having to come into the pits pretty soon if he wants to stretch the hard still in the end of the race. Of course, if he goes onto the softs, as I said before, around lap 18, 19, 20, you want to come into the pits. And here we've got Jay Dennis still sticking on the tail of Al Shakel. And these two are just going up and down with each other. Oh, Blue Dark with a 5-second time penalty. And that is really something you don't want to see as a commentator, because that is going to drop him a lot of positions. It is good that you can serve a 5-second time penalty in the pit lane. But still, you have to hope for a safety car, of course. Jay Dennis not giving up, and they're catching up to they're catching up to Kev the Slice. Look at that, 2 seconds from the McLaren driver at the moment. Bobo just running away again, and I feel like Bobo really has stepped up his game. At the beginning of the season, we didn't really see him that often in the top 3, but gradually he's been improving. And last week he's got a race win, and possibly he's going to get a race win again today. We still have 18 more laps to go, so still plenty of racing to go. But we're going to be having a 3-way battle between Kev the Slice, El Shakel, and Jay Dennis. As you can see, El Shakel catching up to the McLaren driver, and that means that those tires off Kev the Slice are wearing out at the moment. Let's have a quick look what has happened here between Ange Hamid and Olawa Ritchie. Does this mean that these medium tires are still faster than the hard tires? I would say so. Although Ange Hamid has a little bit more pace, I would say the medium tires are still faster than the hard tires. Even after 14 laps, Spain is not really a tire using track, so soft mediums could possibly work here around Spain. The same for Belgium, the same for Brazil. All those tracks you can run a soft and medium strategy, and it seems like those guys at the back of the grid were having that in mind. Blue Dark, who does go onto the soft tires, not to finish off the race, but hopefully is going to have a safety car to help him on the way. As the top two have come into the pits. Bobo and Kev Deslize both coming into the pits. Al Shakel and Jay Dennis both not coming into the pits. And it might have been smart for Jay Dennis to come into the pits because that way he would have gotten an undercut. And I think Bobo and Kev Deslize are both going onto the hard tires. Don't want to stretch those mediums till the end of their lives. They want to take it safe, and they're possibly going to win doing that. But it still has to be shown what strategy is the best. Medium hards, soft mediums, medium softs, you never know. And these guys are going to prove that to me. If Al Shakel and Jay Dennis are going to be winning this race, that means that the medium softs are possibly going to be working better. If Bobo or Kev Deslize are going to be winning the race, that means that the medium hards is possibly the best way to go. At the back of the grid, we are also looking at a battle between Waza and Redoubts, currently for P14. Might want to go on board with the both of them. Here comes Waza up the inside. He's got those medium tires. And Redoubts having the soft tires, if I'm not mistaken. He does indeed. 15 lap old softs. So he's the only one able to stretch those softs for this long. It didn't really gain him too much positions. He's currently in P15. He's going to come into the pits. So, I mean, yeah, it's not looking great for both the Haas team. And they're possibly going to lose a couple of positions in the Drivers' Championship and also the Constructors' Championship, because almost all teams are in front of them, except for Red Bull. Al Shakel, Ange Hamid, and Olawa Richie are coming into the pits. Jay Dennis not coming into the pits. A surprising result from the Mercedes driver. But I think he's the only one going for a medium-soft strategy, because otherwise he would have come into the pits already. It wouldn't be ideal going onto the hard tires right now, because that means you have done a longer stint on your medium tires compared to your hard tires, which is obviously not great. Oh, wait, it's getting really, really dark here in Spain. Is it going to be raining pretty soon? It is looking really, really dark. Are we going to be having rain? Maybe Tutski can give me some information about that. Do you have any contact with any of the drivers on the grid at the moment? A quick sip of water is just so lovely if you've been commentating for almost an hour now. It's just, it's like an angel is pissing on your tongue. Oh, absolutely amazing. We've got a three-way battle right now for the top 9. No, I have not, unfortunately. That is really unfortunate. But, I mean... Oh, Jay Dennis coming into the pits. Soft tires? Is he going onto the soft tires? 15 laps on the softs works. As you can see, Redoubts on 16 lap old softs. Oh, and he spins right now. Oh, that is not a great sign. Oh, and Jay Dennis on the hards. This is a bad decision. You never want to have your fastest stint... Well, your fastest stint longer than your slowest stint. You don't want that to work, because then you can go for another strategy. Here comes Ishii. No, it's Olawa Richie making the overtake up the inside of Ishii with the use of DRS, to be exact. And now Olawa Richie can try and push for Ange Hamid. Both drivers have switched strategies. Earlier we had Ange Hamid on the mediums, Olawa Richie on the hards. Now it's the opposite way. Olawa Richie on the mediums. We've got Ange Hamid on the hards. And let's see who is going to be able to grab that P9. And also Jay Dennis has caught up to Starry at the moment. And he's going to be having 1 lap fresher hard tires than his, competition, Al Shakel. Starry, who's still on 70 lap old hards, possibly will come into the pits right now. Oh, down the inside goes Jay Dennis. Really forces the Alfa Romeo a little bit wider. And I think Jay Dennis is really frustrated with Starry having a battle with him at this point, because Starry, he's on a complete different strategy. 17 lap old hards. He's not going to come into the pits. He's going to use that DRS and make another move on Jay Dennis. And this is just losing a lot of time for Jay Dennis. I mean, earlier we saw a 1.5 second gap to El Shakel that has sized up to a 2.3 second time gap. So it's definitely not looking great for Jay Dennis with that Australian right behind him. And I think Starry, there's not much he can do anymore except for draining all of his ERS, but he doesn't have much in the tank either. We've got a beautiful move there from Olawa Richie on Ange Hamid. Very, very easily. Well, that was very easily done by the Mercedes driver, as, you know, it only took him one straight and one quarter section to make that overtake. But now Ange Hamid seems to be able to catch up to the Mercedes driver again. A beautiful exit as he takes a lot of curb on the exit. Beautifully done. And now heading into that fast part of the track, of course. He will have the DRS down the straight, but I'm not sure if that will be enough. He just needs a good exit. But those medium tires will be a lot better coming through turn 9. Heading into turn 10 they go, but that will not be an overtaking opportunity. The Bartol coming into the pits possibly is going for the soft tires. If he doesn't go for the soft tires, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Hard softs, I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's getting darker and darker as it seems like Starry and Rameau. Where did Rameau come out? He came out of nowhere, guys. Look at that. Rameau already up into P5. He came into the pits quite early in this game, well, in this race, because he had a broken front wing. He crashed out himself, if I'm not mistaken. Too much pressure coming out of turn 3, and that made him have front wing damage. So he dropped back all the way to the back of the pack, put on some medium tires. Will possibly have to come back into the pits to go on to the soft tires, because I don't think he'll be able to last those medium tires till the end of the race. Starry trying to get back to that Alpine driver, but he's not going to be able to. Expedito seems to be coming into the pits. No, that's 3 taps all the way at the back of the pack. Ange Hamid caught up to Olawa Richie once again, and we're going to be seeing another overtake down the DRS straight. Of course, with the use of DRS and maybe a little bit of VRS. But Ange Hamid doesn't have much in the tank anymore, and neither does Olawa Richie. So both drivers equal on ERS. The Bartolfo has caught up to Starry on the soft tire, so that will be easily done. And Starry comes into the pits. Starry comes into the pits. Ooh, almost touches the wall there on the entry. And the Bartolfo is now up for a redemption race. He'll need to make up for about 5 to 6 seconds to be able to grab that P3. But I think he'll definitely be capable of doing that on the soft tires. If Jay Dennis and Al Shakel are going to be having a heated battle with each other, we might be looking at a very, very exciting race. And Bobo seems to be running away even more. 3.5 seconds. Kev the Slice, the pace that we saw at the beginning of the season is not there, unfortunately, for Kev the Slice. He's been on a two-week vacation. You know, if you don't practice, you're not going to get consistent. If you're not consistent, you're not going to be winning races. So Kev the Slice, I mean, taking in consideration that he's not been racing for 2 weeks, he's still doing great, but he doesn't have that little touch to his race anymore. I mean, he used to be winning races by seconds, and now he's in P2. Bobo has taken that position from him, so yeah, I mean, we're looking at, Rameau coming into the pits, doesn't want to lose too much time battling the Bartolfo, and that is going to give a little bit of DRS to the Bartolfo down the straight here. That will definitely be useful to his, well, during his redemption race at the moment. Might want to go not at the back of the pack. AP retired from the session in the pit lane. Rameau, where is he going to end up in? P10, not bad at all. Maybe he can find himself in front of the Alfa Romeo. I think he does. And I think he does indeed. Oh, but he has to watch out for that Red Bull. That Red Bull is going really slow. That Red Bull is going really slow. Oh, that's really dangerous, actually, if I'm being honest. That Red Bull, you know, he does retire in the pit lane, but that Red Bull still comes out on track for some reason. I have no idea why the game does that. Just put the car in the pit lane when it's still in the pit lane, right? We've got a yellow flag in Sector 1. That is that Red Bull car, of course. Let's hope the McLaren is not going to crash into the back of that Red Bull. AP, who has unfortunately retired from the session, he's going to be dropping back all the way to P19. And I'm still not sure what has happened to Ziad. Because, I mean, lap 5 or something like that, and he DNF from the race. I mean, not even DNF. He just came into the pits, retired from the session, and left the session immediately. The Bartolfo now with the fastest lap of 1:14.1, as he just gained 1 second on Jay Dennis during that lap. But he will possibly be slower at the end of the race, but I couldn't tell you for sure. Here comes Olawa Richie down the straight. But I feel like, I mean, Ziad, he's really been up there with the top guys lately, and just to come into the pits after losing a couple of positions, he might be frustrated about something. Did he leave the league? That might be something for us to look into. as these two are going to be battling. And for the rest of the pack, we are not looking at any moves. So Richie with a possible overtake, but he decided to back out of it. I didn't find anything on Ziad leaving the league, so I don't think he left the league. Oh, and Ishii caught up to Waza, although he's dropping back another couple of tenths, so he's not going to be able to make that overtake. So the only guys who are really within 1 second of each other are these two, Ange Hamid and Olawa Richie, but we've seen each other go up and down lately, down the straight, heading into turn 1. Had a great start, was up to P... wait, let me have a quick look. I can't look at that. P12 from last. Yeah, I mean, AP, you did a great job, mate. You're AP, right, Andrew? I think you are. Andrew starts with A, so I'd assume so. Here comes Olawa Richie around the outside. Not much room has been given by Ange Hamid. I think there was a little bit of touch Rooney going into that corner. Because, I mean, you know, Olawa Richie wanted to go around the outside. There was not much room. But still, I think he's I think he's AP Tutski, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, Andrew, I mean, you know what the thing is about racing here in Divine Eye Racing? You get points for finishing the race, so it's just unfortunate to see drivers retiring from the race when they're in the top, 18, for example, because you're still able to score points for the Drivers' Championship and also for the Constructors' Championship, and then it's just unfortunate to see you retire in the pit lane. Even if you're dead last, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're still scoring points for the team. And, I mean, if you're last with, like, more than 20 seconds like Redoubts is at the moment, you can just come into the pits, go onto a set of softs, like Blue Dark is doing at the moment, go on a set of softs, and try to get the fastest lap on the board or something like that, to get one extra point on the board for your team and for yourself. Oh, your own... Yeah, I mean, no worries, mate. I mean... I do think you retired yourself, didn't you? Ange Hamid just made the overtake again in turn 1. Oh, and it seems like El Shakal is caught up to Kev the Slice. Oh, and there is a Haas driver. Is he going to let him go through? Does look like it. That is Redoubts. Or is that Brass Monkeys? That might be a Brass Monkeys indeed. And now he's going to let the Mercedes driver go by. Beautifully done by Brass Monkeys there. Letting all the guys past. Clear out any suggestions, any doubts about blue flags and all that kind of stuff. Brass Monkeys is the guy to look into, to look at if you're wondering how to go off track when there is a blue flag for you. El Shakel caught up. He's bringing Jay Dennis with him. Jay Dennis on 1 lap fresher hearts. We're going to be seeing a very feisty battle for P2 and P3 because Kev the Slice, he's of course hoping for that P2, but El Shakel caught up quite nice. DRS wide open. And Jay Dennis has got 2 lap fresher tires than Kev the Slice. So if Jay Dennis is able to catch up to these two, we are going to be possibly seeing a Jay Dennis in P2, El Shakel in P3. As El Shakel is now going down the inside, and now they're losing more and more time to Jay Dennis. Kev the Slice going back onto the line. Oh, there's a little bit of touch-a-rooney between El Shakel and Kev the Slice. Because I think Kev the Slice went a little bit too deep going into that corner. And Jay Dennis has caught up. A 3-way battle with still 7 more laps to go here in Spain. And hopefully it is going to be all clean. The Bartol for 6-lap-old softs. He might be looking at a comeback. As you can see all the way at the back of the straight there. He is looking to come back. And with these 3 having a feisty battle in these last couple of laps, we might be looking at the Bartol 4 trying to get back into P2 after an amazing strategy. Hard softs is something no one could have thought of, but only the Bartol 4. Down the straight they go. Jay Dennis is looking to make a 2-way overtake, but he's just too far behind El Shakel. El Shakel drained all of his zeros already. Jay Dennis did too. El Shakel down the inside he goes. El Shakel down the inside he goes. Goes onto the curb, but not... Oh, makes the switchback work. Look at that. El Shakel. Oh, goes onto the curb. Goes a little bit too deep. I think Jay Dennis is going to be able to make that overtake. Down the inside he goes. Oh, he backs out. Goes around the outside, but there's not much room, and he wasn't alongside, so he won't be able to make that overtake. Kev the Slice still in P2 in the lead of this little group. The Bartolfo caught up another couple of tenths. El Shakel with a little bit of a snap coming out of turn 5. Takes a lot of curb on the entry. Might have costed him a couple of tenths on Kev the Slice. As you can see, already dropped back to 7 tenths. Kev the Slice, I'm not sure who's going to be getting P2, guys. Oh, the Bartolfo. Oh, he's almost within 1 second. Really needs to gain a couple of tenths here through Sector 3 to be able to grab that DRS. Had a little bit of a snap coming out of turn 10. He drops back to 1.2 seconds at the moment. And also all our Richie and Angie Hamid are having another battle in the middle of the pack. But the Bartolfo is going to have the DRS. Doesn't look like it. El Shakel, DRS wide open, but he's got no ERS saved. I think how much DRS does Kev the Slice have left? 20%. Possibly not enough. We're going to be seeing no position changes between these three. And we're just waiting for a move to happen. And I think Jay Dennis and El Shakel are thinking the same. They're just going to wait till the end of the race. You know, heading into lap 33. You just want to make that overtake with the use of DRS down the straight. And that is about it. Or El Shakel possibly making the overtake already and hoping that Kev the Slice is going to make the overtake. Well, is going to be having a battle with Jay Dennis. That could also be the case. Let's have a quick look at the position changes here. 4 positions gained for Jay Dennis. He's possibly our biggest winner of the race. Brass Monkey's crashing out, unfortunately. No, he's letting through a couple of guys. Oh, here comes El Shakel up the inside. Goes a little bit too deep, and he's going to lose a position to Kev the Slice, but also one to Jay Dennis. Jay Dennis around the outside. Into turn 12 they go. Is Jay Dennis going to give up? Yes, indeed he is, as he's having a little bit of a snap coming out of turn 12. And there goes El Shakel. And interestingly enough, the guy with the freshest tires is struggling the most. Jay Dennis not able to catch up to Kev the Slice and El Shakel. El Shakel is going to go for another one. Down the inside he goes in turn 1. Kev the Slice might be hoping for a switchback, and yes, indeed he does. But he's not going to be able to make that overtake. A beautiful line from El Shakel there. I mean, he's done it already a couple of times with Jay Dennis, so he knows the drill. Kev the Slice is new in this corner section overtake-wise, so he might be struggling with Jay Dennis, keeping Jay Dennis behind him. And that is what we love to see here. El Shakel making the overtake and Kev the Slice having troubles with keeping Jay Dennis behind him. And now El Shakel can run away, basically. Where did the Bartolfo came from? He's on those soft tires. So, he's just able to gain a lot of time through Sector 1, through Sector 2, through Sector 3, because he's on the soft tires. He's just done a great strategy, and the battling between these three in the top 4 isn't helping either. So that means that the Bartolfo is hoping for an overtake on these three at the same time. Around the outside he goes. Well, around the last corner he goes. It's a 4-way train, a DRS train. Here comes Kev the Slice. Up the inside he goes. Will Jay Dennis possibly be looking at an overtake? No, he's not. He's going to back out of it. Is the Bartolfo looking to make an overtake? No, he's not. Kev the Slice keeping the line from the Williams driver. And we're going up and down. 3 more laps to go. Oh, El Shakel down the inside. No, he's going to back out of it. Oh, and Jay Dennis going a little bit too deep, coming through that turn 4. That was really close. El Shakel, little touch-a-rooney with the McLaren driver. I think he just gave that position back because he knew that he did something that wasn't really, well, race-worthy. Race etiquette. That is not something we want to see here in the Vinyl Racing. And we love to see that he gave back that position. Down the inside he goes. Is he going to make the same mistake that he did before? No, he's not. He makes the overtake into turn 10 around the outside. Well, down the inside with a deep dive bomb. And Kev the Slice, he was hoping for another switchback. Almost loses the car there. Kev the Slice really struggling on those hard tires. We're heading into lap 31 out of the 33. Still 2 more laps to go after this one. And then we're looking at a 4-way battle. Here comes the Bartolfo on the soft tires on Jay Dennis. Down the inside he goes. Yes, indeed he does. Takes P4. And he's looking to take P3 and P2 at the same time. Who will take P2 from the Williams team? Because both drivers have been battling very heavily with each other. And you know what I would love to see? With a little bit of juice, with a little bit of spice in the Williams team, you know, in the Williams headquarters. is that El Shakal and the Bartofor are going to be battling so hard with each other that Jay Dennis and Kev the Slice are running away with P2 and P3. That would be a masterpiece in this little battle between the 4 drivers. What a great battle. It is indeed a great battle. And, you know, you don't see many overtakes. And that is what makes it so beautiful. The guys are able to keep each other behind each other and in front of each other just because they're in a train. And it's such a difficult skill to master. Racing in a train for so close, for so long, behind each other, it is really difficult. You really have to try it for yourself. Heading into lap 32 out of 33, penultimate lap here in Spain in Season 2, round 9 of the Spain Grand Prix here in Division 2. Guys, I have to say this is Division 2. A bit tonight, not going to lie. Demortalized. What do you mean, Andrew? And why are you doing a laugh smiley, Tusky? Oh, possibly about the Williams headquarters things. Yeah. That is quite funny. Oh, by the way, sorry guys. We're kind of missing Olawu and Ange Hamid's overtake with each other. But they've been battling for so long. We really have to see who is going to get P2. Will it be the Bartofor? Will it be El Shakal? Or will it be what? Oh, guys, I thought Kev the Slice was in the middle of the track there, but that was Thiago Motta, of course. Heading into the last lap. Here comes Kev the Slice. He's in the driver's seat to get P2. DRS wide open for the McLaren driver coming around the last corner. And I think the Bartofor is struggling too much with keeping Jay Dennis behind him. There's a little bit of a gap forming between the Bartofor and Kev the Slice. As you can see, Kev the Slice will have the opportunity to use the DRS down the straight. Here he comes. DRS wide open. ERS wide open. He's got plenty of left in the tag, but he's not using any. El Shakal, who doesn't have any ERS left in the tag. Jay Dennis not being able to make the overtake. The Bartofor not able to make the overtake on his own teammate. So I think this will be the standings if no mistakes will be made between these 4. Kev the Slice in P2, El Shakal in P3, and the Bartofor in P4. Jay Dennis drops back to P5. Unfortunately, after a great race, we were looking at a P2 for the Mercedes driver, but anything can happen. Olawa Richie and Ange Hamid going side by side into turn 2. This is also a last lap battle between the both of them. Who will take P7? It seems like that is going to be Olawa Richie, and once again a beautiful battle between the Mercedes and the AlphaTauri teams. Oh, Kev the Slice in P2. Leading the pack to victory. Well, to the finish line, of course, because Bobo already with a 7.9 second gap to these 4. And he's going to be our majestic leader of the race, our race winner once again. Kev the Slice heading into the penultimate sector. Well, the last sector actually. Jay Dennis seems to be making the overtake. Right to the outside he goes. A little bit of touch there between the Williams driver and the Mercedes driver, but Jay Dennis still takes P4. Kev the Slice sliding all over the place, grabbing P2 from all of these guys, and the Bartofor still lost that position in the last sector. Jay Dennis and the Bartofor. We really need to take a quick look at Ange Hamid and Olawa Richie, but it seems like it'll be Olawa Richie getting P7. And we're not looking at any other battles here on the grid. What a race this has been. Waza, Redoubts, Brass Monkeys, Thiago, and Blue Dark have already come across the line due to blue flags. And then, of course, we've got Starry around the last corner. Looking at the position changes, we are not seeing too many big position losses by anyone. Ramon, 5 place grid penalty. We've got Ange Hamid, 5 place grid penalty. No, 5 positions lost. We've got Ange Hamid, 3 positions lost. Our biggest winners of today are Redoubts, Ishii, Nico John, and Jay Dennis. They have all gained 4 positions. And I wouldn't be able to tell you who's my driver of the day. I'm going to be honest about something. I think it is going to be the Bartofor or El Shakal. It's either one of the Williams drivers. Here we go. Driver of the day, the Bartofor. The game agrees with me. But here's the reason why. He's done an alternative strategy. And that is what I love to see about drivers using different strategies than the rest of the grid and still getting a great position. And he's got the fastest lap. Came from P7 to P5. My driver of the day goes to the Bartol 4. Further, we've got our race winner, Bobo, who we haven't had a single minute on screen today, only with the race start. And yeah, I mean, sorry, Bobo, my apologies. You had a very boring race today. Kevin Slice in P2, a great race from him. He managed to get P2 anyway with the use of the DRS down that last, down that start-finish straight in the last lap. Then we've got El Shakel running away with the podium position. Further, we've got Jay Dennis, the Bartol 4 in the top 5. The Bartol 4 also with the fastest lap. Then we've got Nico John, Olawa Richie, Ange Hamid, who have had a very interesting battle with each other. Olawa Richie and Ange Hamid also a very long battle, which is lovely to see. Ramon Tabasco, a little bit unlucky, qualified it before. He actually had the lead, was battling with the lead of the race at some point during this race, but kind of messed up on the soft tires, so that is a bit unfortunate. And then we've got Starry with a surprising top 10 position. Further, we've got Ishi, Expedito, Cable Monkey, Waza, Redoubts, Brass Monkey, Thiago Motta, Blue Dark, and then we've got our DNFs, unfortunately, being AP and Ziad. Ziad, who had a great race at the beginning of the race, but kind of dropped back a lot of positions. And I think that's what made him DNF in the pit lane, but I could be wrong. But that will be the race for tonight, guys. I mean, there's nothing else I can say. Please rewatch the race if you haven't. It's just, there's too much to tell. There's too much battles, and Spain is always a lovely track to race on. Guys, I'm just going to read. Thank you for the comments tonight, Thomas. No worries, Tutsky. It was a pleasure, as usually. But I mean, thank you very much for watching. My name is VB Thomas. Make sure to like the live stream if you haven't already. And I think this must have been one of my best commentary sessions I've had in a long time, because all my days, my mouth didn't sit still, and I was talking the whole time. I barely made any grammar mistakes, I think. I hope I did. Well, I hope I didn't. But guys, I'm going to finish off the live stream here. My name is VB Thomas. Make sure to check out my socials. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace out.